Hey, yo, how you going? So this video is going to be a bit more of a personal, raw kind of video. I'm just going to chat some stuff. So if you want to join me, then cheers. Yeah, I just kind of want to talk about what's going on in my life, in my mind, in the moment, at this time in my life. So, as you may or may not know, I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to actively grow this channel. And basically, you know, I'm trying to make a living off of this, really. You know, I've talked about this in previous videos already, but I think, you know, what is the optimal way to make money, man? What is, like, I don't think money's bad, dude. And you see, I'm even like hesitant to talk about money and trying to make money from, you know, trying to be like entrepreneurship and stuff like this, because, you know, a lot of people find it cringe and shit, and a lot of people just have negative connotations towards like people that don't have jobs. It's like, just fucking get a job, dude. Just get a fucking job. You're a fucking lazy piece of shit. It's like, I don't know, man. I think I think that says more about them than anyone they're attacking. But anyway, I am in a phase of my life where I have to change these limiting beliefs about money and about earning money and whatnot. Like in the past, I used to like do shit that people would happily pay me for, but I would like turn down the money because I'd be like, you know, like this should, like, it's like, no, I'll do it for free, you know, like in the past. You know, I used to do a bit of like videography and video editing to make like promo videos for theatre companies, so like the plays that they were holding, whatever, and just things like this. And I didn't even think about the money, you know. I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, you know, like, why not? You know, people need help, you know, I'm good at video editing, okay, I'll do it. But you know, everybody needs to make a living, dude. And I think the best, like, imagine a world where everybody gets paid for the unique gifts that they have to offer the world. You know, like, if we're still gonna live in a world where money is operating, then the best way to earn money would be to do what you're naturally gifted at, or what you've like spent a lot of time developing a skill in, that you actually love and enjoy, you know, your craft, and like that is actually valuable for people and actually serving humanity in a positive way. Then like imagine a world where everybody is getting paid for the craft and the service that they enjoy doing. That's really what we should be heading towards, you know. And I think it's possible. I think it's actually possible for everyone to get paid for the natural service that they have to offer the world. I think it's possible, but I think it's probably a lot easier to just get a random job that is that people don't like to be in, and that isn't even serving humanity. Like, you could easily get a job working at McDonald's, flipping burgers and shit, you know? It's probably not that fucking hard to do, man, to get that job. But what are you doing there? You probably, like, you probably, like, no one does that because they want to do that. People do that because they need money and they're in this scarcity mentality. And is McDonald's fucking serving humanity in a positive way? No, we could do without it, dude. Like, we could fucking do without it. If we actually did without it, humanity would be in a better place, you know? Because the food that McDonald's is serving is shit, you know? And it just feeds us quick hits of dopamine that, yeah, feels good in the moment, but ultimately derails our health in the long run. So, you know, and I don't know, I just get this energy that it's that people are very sensitive. It's like talking about money and jobs, it's a very sensitive topic. I don't really know why that is, but I just get this like right now I feel that energy of like, oh, I can't like fully talk about this or whatever. But hopefully by me talking about this, it's kind of like bringing the unconscious into the conscious, bringing the collective unconscious into the light so we can see it, you know? So we don't have, so it's not just in the dark and we're just like pushing it under the rug as this implicit thing, you know? Does that make sense? So, look, dude, like, I have value here. It's obvious to me that I have value. People are getting benefit from these videos, from the insights I have to offer. And they're much needed as well, because usually, you know, what is most valuable for the world is something that hasn't been done before, you know? And I think everybody has a unique thing that they could offer the world that has never been done before, at least not in like the specific way that you do it. And so here's my specific way of expressing things, you know? Like, you know, I'm not fucking Ram Dass or fucking Alan Watts, yet I kind of convey the same kind of messages, you know, that they convey. Yet, you know, it's like I do it in my own expression that resonates with some people, you know? So, like, I have value here, dude, and it's something that I enjoy doing. You know, and I feel like life itself, this life force within you, if like wants to offer value to the world that it has, you kind of know what value you have that the world needs. And it's like, if you don't express it and try and give it, there's this kind of like, you're kind of like not flowing with the natural way of things. You know, you're kind of like putting this obstacle up and like obstructing the natural path that life wants to take, you know? Because I feel like life just wants to kind of serve itself in whatever way that may be, you know? So I am trying to actively grow this channel and make avenues for monetization in ways that are actually going to serve and actually authentic, you know. So, that's what I'm trying to do in my life right now. Like, that has been my main focus, you know? And, you know, if you have a stable income, then that gives you the space and time to really focus on what's really important for you, which is always usually most likely what's really most important for the world as well, right? If you serve yourself in the most loving and truthful way, and nourishing way, just by doing that, you're going to serve the world in the same kind of way. Just because that's how, of course. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, like see, this is not about like, see, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, some people might just want money so they can live a hedonistic lifestyle that isn't serving themselves or the world. Right? People want money so they can just buy a lot of shit to try and fill this void within them, to try and just like have instant gratification. But see, that's not how I do things anyway. I've done that in the past. I can't go back, Of course, there's nothing wrong with enjoying some chocolate or some biscuits or something like that, but what I'm saying is like, if you have financial freedom, right, you have more time and space and energy and attention to focus on, like, you know what I mean, And, when you focus on like, when you have this stability where you can now put your energy and attention into the things that you really love, then it's just going to perpetuate that, and you're going to continually bring good things into the world, Does that make any sense? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So what I also want to touch upon in this video is that this is not an easy task, because like I have said in my previous video titled "The Fear of Being Seen is Blocking Your Purpose," right? This is a big thing, right? Like, if we want to be like quote unquote successful in life, it really requires us, in a lot of cases, maybe not in all cases, but probably in most cases, it really requires us to get out into the spotlight, because if you're serving the world, perhaps not in all cases, you don't need to like personally get out in the spotlight or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. Probably in most cases, you have to get out into the world in the spotlight and be open to scrutinization and criticism, And this is not an easy thing, but it's like, you have to choose, do you want to not step out in the spotlight and never like live the life that you really want to live, and but not have any kind of criticism coming in? Or do you want to step out into the spotlight, live the life you want to live, but people are criticizing you? Because people are gonna fucking criticize you, dude. Like, yeah, ultimately, if you're doing good stuff, there's gonna be a ton of people that are gonna give you praise, give you support, gonna give you words of encouragement, just gonna love your work, you know. But equally so, maybe not equally so, but there's also gonna be a lot of people that don't understand you, that think completely different, that hate you, that criticize you, and all this kind of stuff, you know. And that's just natural. But, you know, we are human beings, and I think everybody gets affected by that, you know. Of course, you can develop more of a kind of like, you know, you can fortify your mind, you know, you can develop more of a, an acceptance of that. You develop more of a tolerance or whatever, but man, it's a price worth paying for, because do you want to be you, or do you want to be someone else, you know? I've talked about this in another previous video as well. Like, do you want to be loved by a few or liked by everyone? Because you can be liked by everyone by conforming to the norm, but you don't get that depth, and you don't get that love, you know, that real connection. So you can be liked by everyone, or you can be loved by a few, when you get that depth and that deep connection, and you get to be yourself. But you're also gonna be criticized and disliked by a lot of other people as well. But does that matter, man? Like, your sacrifice, like, you don't, like, dude, be yourself, man. Like, this is a problem in this society. It's people are afraid to really be their authentic selves. Afraid to just be like, yep, this is who I am, warts and all, you know. People are trying to perform and edit themselves and to try and fit in. And of course, you know, this is just survival. This is social survival, you know. Like, our human biology, this mechanism of the body, hasn't changed much over the centuries, over the fucking thousands and millennia years or whatever, I don't know. But, you know, people always say this, you know, it's like our body is like still wired the way it has been for so long, that, you know, we're still scared of being pushed out of the tribe, still scared of being ostracized, and, you know, and of course, you know, there's not much that happens now, you know, in the Western world. You know, if someone doesn't like you, then, you know, they're not gonna fucking kill you, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not that bad. But yeah, you know, it's still there. But what am I saying? Yeah, I guess, you know, humanity's evolving, dude. And we gotta, you know, we're in this time now where it's like, you know, there's not much threat now to really be yourself. Like, look online or look just around you. Like, there's so many different types of people now, and people, like, this society is becoming more accepting of just like lots of different types of people and shit, you know. So there's never been a better time in history than now to really be your fucking weirdest self, you know, to be your really true, weirdest, strangest, peculiar, authentic self. Now is the time, and use it to your advantage, because that is your uniqueness that you can offer the world, if it is of positive value and benefit, you know. But yes, I do want to get into this, because what I've been experiencing is some anxiety, you know, from doing this, from showing up, you know, posting videos every day, growing this channel, growing this audience. it's and even before doing this, stepping out into the world and just taking more action, and to just getting more in the spotlight, getting seen more, stepping out into the world, walking up and down in the world, there's more anxiety, and I didn't yeah, I don't know. I guess I want to talk about this though. That I have felt for a little while this kind of restlessness. Like I'm constantly I'm very vigilant. I'm constantly looking for threats in a sense, just like an animal would, I'm looking for social threats, this is not what I'm doing consciously, but it's just if I actually be honest with myself, it's yeah, that's kind of what my body is doing, I'm on edge, I'm looking for the threats, because I'm putting myself out there, for the, and I'm intentionally trying to put myself out there for people to see me, because, and, so I've been experiencing a lot of kind of anxiety and kind of OCD kind of stuff. I've always experienced kind of nervous tics throughout my entire life, and I've picked this up from my mum. My mum has a lot of kind of nervous tics, nervous OCD type things. I don't really know much about what OCD is, but you may even notice it's my eyes, for I don't know, man, the past year or two, I've just been developing these fucking eye nervous tics where they just fucking go all over the fucking place, dude. And I've only talked about this once before in one of my videos, but it's a thing that is frustrating to me. And when I decide to meditate, it's even hard now these days, because I also have this just kind of OCD nervous tic where I'm just always trying to readjust my neck posture, and I can never sit in stillness, and it's fucking hard, because it's another skill that I have to work on, and so I just want to kind of put this out there as just my authentic warts and all self, because this is what I'm experiencing, dude. And but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Ultimately, I don't want to give the impression, I don't want to become this person that is I don't want to get it, I don't want to become this person that's higher up than you, that's here's me and I've got what you want or whatever, it's dude, we're all the fucking same, but it's I have values. I still have value to give. I still have helpful things to offer, even if I'm just still figuring life out myself, And I think this is something important to say for anyone out there as well that is trying to offer value to people, trying to do this kind of thing that I'm doing as well, in whatever kind of way. It's important to remember that just because you're not the top of your game doesn't mean that you can't offer help to people, because in one kind of skill or one area of development, you could be further along the path than someone else. You see, you don't have to be at the end of the path. You don't have to be perfect. But if you're just a bit further than someone else, then you have valuable guidance and information and lived experience to offer someone that isn't as progressed along the path as you know. And so that's really what I kind of want to remember myself, really. It's like, yeah, I'm not fucking perfect, dude. You know, I still experience anxiety and shit because, you know, this time of my life, I'm just trying to be more active in the world, you know. And, you know, but nevertheless, you know, I still got, I genuinely think that I have value to offer, and because I know it, you know, there's evidence, you know, people get value from it. So, and I appreciate all the positive support and whatnot. You know, I used to be like very resistant towards community and people and socializing and that. But I would justify to myself that, you know, I was beyond that. I didn't need socializing or whatever. But that was coming out of fear. And sure, you know, I just tend to be more introverted, tend to like being alone more. Sure, that's just how I am. But nevertheless, it's like, even if you're more introverted or whatever, everybody's this fucking social human being that wants connection, dude. And you can't deny that of yourself. You can't deceive yourself into thinking that that's not the case, you know. You got to be honest with yourself, you know. You know, you think you don't want it just because you're afraid of socializing, you know. And look, most people are afraid of socializing. Again, it comes back to this like biological thing. We're afraid of being ostracized, pushed out of the tribe. Like, connecting, man, communication, it's hard. Like, it just is. Like, everybody finds it hard, you know. It's a little bit awkward when you get into it. It's a little bit awkward. But that's, like, if you know that everybody has a bit of trouble socializing and it's a little bit awkward to start with, well, keep that in mind, because that's good, because you're not alone then, you know. And you're not alone. Like, every human experiences that, so, you know. It just becomes a skill that you practice, a muscle that you build. If you keep socializing again and again and again and again and again, you build that muscle. And if you don't socialize for a while, that muscle atrophies. And so the people that you see that are good at socializing, are just really people that are in that momentum, that have just done it over and over and over and over again. You know, it's like you're not born with good socialization, really. I mean, maybe, like, you know, you might have some preconditions, but whatever, you know. Like... So yeah, anyway, man, I just want to make this video talking about what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm in this phase of my life now where I'm just like, you know, dude, like, I am like, nah, dude, like, I'm sick of, like, being poor. Like, I ain't doing it, dude. Like, I'm gonna own the value that I got, you know. I'm going to... Because this is another thing in my life that I previously had, that I was very modest, too humble, to the extent that it was actually, like, off-putting, you know? Like, yeah, humility is good in some instances, but, like, also, sometimes humility can become, like, very self-destructive, very negative. Like, you like this like kind of doubt within yourself, this like second guessing and hesitation with yourself. Like, that isn't good, you know. Like, that's coming from some insecurity, some wound, some trauma, right? That's the kind of humility that you want to watch out for, because you really want to be in truthful discernment, you know. Yes, you don't want to over-exaggerate your worth. You don't want to over-exaggerate your value. But you don't want to under-exaggerate it, undervalue it either. You have to be on point of where your value actually lies, you know. And usually you know. It's like, you know if you're good at something. You just do, man. You know if you're good at something. Like, if you're a good guitarist, you know you're a good guitarist, you know. Like, if you do paintings and they're good, then they're good, man. It's like, you know where the value you have lies, right? And you know what could be worked on, what could be better. And you know what you're not good at. You just kind of know, man. Like, just like... There is just this innate discernment within you that you can just pinpoint, like, yes, this is where I'm good at. This is the value that I have, and that is genuine. And then you can pinpoint, like, this other thing, I'm not so great at that. And then it's like, yeah, I could work on that. You know, you just kind of know where you're at. Like, really, if you're just honest with yourself, you do know. And so... own it. Stop being modest. If you make something good, be like, yeah, man, it's fucking good. I fucking love it. It's fucking good. You know? You know, sometimes, like, there are times when I look back at my old films that I've made, or my old, you know, songs or whatever, you know. I'll watch it or listen to it and be like, wow, I'm inspired now. I'm inspired to start making a film, or I'm inspired to, like, start writing a song, you know? Just like I would be inspired if I watched someone else's film or I heard someone else's song, you know? Because it's good. It just is. And so we live in this world of money. And so you might as well try and find ways how to make money from the things that you're fucking good at and that will bring genuine positive value to the world. You know, and in the past I used to think like, well, I can't be bothered, you know, I can't be bothered trying to monetize shit. I fucking hate this world of, like, you know, money and monetization and, like, trying to market and sell. Like, why can't I just, like, play guitar in my room for fun? Why can't I just make a film and put it on YouTube and not need to, like, put it in any fucking film festival, or not need to, like, you know, make a good thumbnail or title or whatever. Why can't I just like put it out there? And it's like, yeah, sometimes I still think like that. Yet at the same time, it's like, okay, but if you want to be like if you just do that, then you're gonna be poor, and you have to go fucking work at a shit job that you don't like, which is gonna make you miserable, and it's actually having a disservice to society. It's gonna make you more miserable because you know you're not doing good to the world. And so it's like, do you want to live that way, man? Like, no. So like, you might as well try and find some kind of way that you can monetize and support yourself financially that this feels right to you, you know? And, you know, it takes work, man. It takes hard work because it is a different kind of area than the craft you have. You have to kind of learn, quote unquote, business or whatever, you know? It's like, you know, playing guitar in your room, maybe even recording a song on your computer or whatever. Like, you know, that's a completely different skill than the skill of trying to like make money out of that, you know what I mean? And so it takes hard work to learn and because it's a new skill you're learning, you know? And, you know, it's not always fun, but again, it's like, if you want to, like, you don't want to be working a shit job or whatever and feeling like stressed and miserable and not have enough time to actually, you know, like fucking play guitar and record a song or whatever. You know, you want some kind of financial stability where you have the time and energy to actually do the things that you love, that is actually going to benefit you and the world. And this is obvious, man. Like, we all know this, but you just have to like switch out these twisted beliefs for the actual ones that make sense. And perhaps, you know, I think a lot of people have twisted beliefs around money and, you know, self-employment and financial freedom and work and jobs and all this kind of stuff. You know, there's a lot of weird shit going on with people's beliefs about these kinds of things. And so to change your beliefs into a more positive one, a lot of people might see you as like crazy, not grounded in any kind of truth. They may see you as like, you know, having wishful thinking or whatever. But it's like, if you really want something, dude, you will get it. If there's a will, there's a way. You just have to keep at it, you know, and keep learning, you know, like you do not succeed without failing. You have to fail over and over and over again. But that is the means to success. It just is. Because every fail is a lesson that you learn. And those lessons that you learn are needed to succeed. It is learning. And so you must persevere, you know, whatever it is that you want. You know, it's not a linear A to B. There's going to be many obstacles. And, you know, it's just about realizing that all the obstacles are the way. The obstacle is the way. So I want to share this video because I'm trying to really, like, my beliefs about money and all this kind of shit, I'm changing them within myself, and I want to be more transparent about it, because there's also this other weird belief where it's like, you know, like I said before in this video, it's like, oh, I can't talk about money and whatever. But why? Why? You know, there's this belief where it's like, you know, like I have this belief myself that other people believe that it's like, oh, Jasper's now trying to like scam people, you know, now Jasper's trying to like make money. Oh, he's not authentic anymore. He's not, you know, whatever else. It's like, they're bullshit beliefs, man. Because like everything I've said in this video, man, like everybody needs to make a living. Like if we are gonna live in this world of money, which we are, and that's not gonna fucking change anytime soon. Money's gonna be here. If we're gonna live in this world of money, you might as well fucking earn it by doing something that you fucking love, that is of actual genuine value. And keep at it. Keep trying to find out how you can do that in the most authentic way possible that isn't gonna like be a disservice to yourself or the world, you know? And perhaps, you know, that is a learning curve that you keep having to learn over and over again. How do I navigate this world of money without neglecting my authenticity? You know, that is part of it. That will take learning. That's what I'm learning as well. So, it was just a little bit of a personal 40-minute vid for you. And yeah, man, so if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe because that helps me out a lot. And come join the online community, the Truth Playground, top link in the description. And I will see you in the next one. Allons-y!